Good evening, everyone. So it's nice to meet you all. I'm Gobind Agarwal. I'm actually based in India, and I'm an automation engineer at Loki Bots. So today I'll be talking about automation with Python. So this is not a basic automation what we do in our day-to-day life of testing any software or any product, but it's more about robotic process automation. So it's a holistic view of a process getting automated. So this is more about robotic process automation, as I said. So let's dive into this word each term wise. So why it is known as robotic? It is known as robotic because it's repetitive in nature. What work we do in our day-to-day life, it's repetitive and mundane and boring after a point of time. It's known as process because it's a flow of step. We know where to start, we know where to end, what comes after what. So we know the whole flow of the process. That's why the work is known as a process. In the picture because there should be no human intervention. That's why we want to automate the whole process. So the automation of this whole process of a manual today work is known as robotic process automation. And this is very easily available using Python, be it any library, any small snippet of the Python. And basically, this can be done by using two major libraries. What I will be focusing on is pyautogui and selenium introduced in the this medium as well. There are many similarities and differences. So before moving on to an example, let me just tell what are those similarities differences of these two libraries. And there can be any other library which can be used for automation of our day-to-day activities. So the similarities between these two is they both work on Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. Both are compatible with Python, and both importantly are used for automating mundane activities of ourselves. The difference, Selenium is actually a browser-based automation, whereas pyautogui is taking the control of a keyboard and mouse. So our process, what we do in our day-to-day life, is basically taking input from keyboard or mouse pad of the mouse. So control is totally given to this library. It's easily any application what we see in our front screen, be it any virtual environment. So we are input to our system using keyboards and mouse. So when these two can be accessed through pyautogui, you can understand the power of Python language of what automation can go to. It's just how much we are thinking and how we are ready to automate a process. Take a small example. Everyday easily most 2 hours of everyday work can be automated. Talking about the work which we do in life, sitting in our system, which can be automated. Sitting for one fine day and automating the whole process, you can actually save up to 10 hours per week, which is very valuable for yourself and also efficient for the work company or organization you're working for. So holistic view, even kind of thing. And one most between Selenium and pyautogui is Selenium is actually using backend and frontend both. So from frontend, we can actually automate from browser as well as we can actually any element from ID or be any, but we can access elements from Selenium. Whereas pyautogui is mostly about front end. What we see in a front end, we can automate such stuff. So let's move on to a example. Before that, a fact about Selenium. It was developed in 2004, and he joked the competitor HP Mercury to cure poisoning by taking selenium supplements, hence the name Selenium. So let's dive into an example of where and how robotic process automation can be helpful for our nature. So this is simple, and you can actually relate each and every part of this to your day-to-day activities or what you have been seeing it by many other people who are. This is going to a portal and downloading an Excel sheet and then some information of Excel will be happening. So there will be some changes and some kind of designing in the Excel sheet which will be happening. Quite common in our day-to-day life. So that will be with the automation completely is written in pyautogui. I will be telling you from where we can actually automate that using as well and optimize further. So you can see the Windows start button thing is triggered with the pyautogui snippet written. So Chrome was written and then enter was pressed. Then writing it, the URI path was written. You can see the mouse pointer is actually here. We'll suddenly go the place where we have to click down and choose any button from there. Now pausing here. So this is like a small snippet of Python which is running on the backend where it's already written with the pyautogui GUI code. Now we can automate it further and optimize it further by using Selenium code. How and why? Because you have seen that mouse pointer from one point to other, it has moved. It took some seconds. So this is a version of a automation we can improvise by Selenium and element from backend. So we know that element is there and it will be having an ID. So we can directly use that ID and send the value without going and clicking the element in the front end. So screen time is reduced. So the small portion of reduction of the whole process timing will actually matter in the holistic sense. So in the total, if your work is, it can actually be automated in minutes. And if completely writing with the Python code, you can use some pandas code or some OS to access the downloaded files and manipulate the Excel, or you can completely do with the URI as well. So it can come down to seconds. So you can understand the power of robotic process automation using Python, where your hours of work can actually be changed to seconds of work. That's automation with Python comes in. So now the snippet has selected last year as reported by months. Then this button can be actually used by library team. The to go and click this button and then go to Excel, wherein using directly use the ID and click. So 5 seconds of one small portion of task has been reduced. If now the major portion of the process is automating an Excel file. So you can see Excel, which is just a double click, whereas I can use the the OS library, which will be helpful for the last downloaded file. You can see the grid lines will move, the dollar move, the numerical value converted to integer. So everything is done by the Python. You can see some zoom magnification factors happening. So like this, you can understand that the power of automation, what can come and help us activity. And then it is getting saved. So even the second part of about the same sheet in a different manner, and at this is merged between. So merging also is possible using Python snippets. You have to know the right libraries and how are very important that if we are automating any process, we should know that what the process flow is and the starting and what's the end portion of the whole automation process. That's very crucial. So that's it from the example point of view. My reference of the talk was from Lokibots AI and then the pyautogui library and the Selenium. Just to add a note on this, now we have to write the Python snippets on our own. There's a company called Lokibots.ai, which I work on. So you don't have to actually write any coding. You can actually your own actions, and everything, whatever you have to write the code in, will be automated automatically. The only thing is, sky is the limit. You can automate entire life as and when it's possible. Thank you.